Hi guys, Asmo here, and today I want to show you a prototype of a new build I made. This is based on the Anomalous Detonate Dead. So as you can see here, Anomalous Detonate Dead, when you get to 20% quality, it converts 60% fire damage to chaos damage, and that opens a whole new possibility, a world of possibilities. Basically, we are converting Anomalous Detonate Dead to chaos, 100% of it, because we're also using the Consuming Dark, and there are so many synergies that we can do with this. So the thing with Detonate Dead is people have played Detonate Dead cast on crit before, but that would be normally fire damage. So you have like Anomalous Detonate Dead here. Normally it would be Detonate Dead. You'd have it with like Cyclone, cast on crit, Desecrate, and that would be linked with some other skills. People would also use like a two-hander with that has like it's like a Shaper item, I think, either a Shaper or Elder, that has cast on crit as like a 7th link as one of the mods, so you'll be able to use additional gem link. But here we're using the Consuming Dark. So Consuming Dark is so amazing for this. First of all, it's a high crit base. I'll go like from top to bottom, all the advantages of using them. The high crit base, so 6.5 crit base, which means all of the crit chance scaling we are using is more efficient because we already have a high chance to crit. So we can reach 100% crit chance very easily with this. Then it has 40% increased global crit chance, that also helps us. Then it has increased fire damage, which will scale the damage of the Detonate Dead. Here's the interesting thing about it. The spell damage modifiers will not help you, right? So where is it? Does it say something? Target's corpse deals spell damage to enemies around, as well as corpse explode. The explosion is not modified by modifiers to spell damage and cannot be reflected. So spell damage increases don't help you, but fire damage increases help you. Chaos damage helps you. Elemental damage helps you. So you can, area damage also helps you, but not spell damage. So that's why this is a very specific build. The Consuming Dark gives me increased fire damage, so up to 60%. So that's another benefit here. +1 to level of all fire spell skill gems. That gives me, with both of those, that gives me +2 to the level of Detonate Dead, and scaling the level scales the base damage. This is actually also a very important thing to do. Fire damage converted to chaos damage, that's another build enabling part of the build. So with the 60% from this, we only need 40 more, so we can do this with like 2 Consuming Darks, or we could bump the quality of Anomalous Detonate Dead and use only one of them and a shield, or we could do also something like Infernal Mantle. Let me see if I have one here. But the problem with Infernal Mantle is that it actually, when you have low mana, you take increased spell damage. That's kind of yikes. But other than that, Infernal Mantle is very good. It gives you increased fire damage, global crit chance, 15% fire to chaos conversion, and then something else. So it's like a really good chest piece otherwise, and it has a decent amount of ES on top of that, because we want to be going for CI, right? CI is going to be our build. So we are converting all of that to chaos, and then we have also your chaos damage has 60% chance to poison enemies on both of them. That's 120. So that means all of our chaos damage has chance to poison enemies. This means we're poisoning with every Detonate Dead. But also on top of that, we're poisoning with our auto attacks, because as you can see, this will have where is it? Just have added fizz damage. It will have added 5 more damage if it's poison. Okay, it will have added chaos damage because we have added this damage to spells. There should be some more. Yes, adds chaos damage for each spider web on enemy. So as soon as the enemy has a spider web on them, which happens after half a second because of this, I'll explain it in a moment, then we are dealing also chaos damage with our Cyclone. That means we're stacking so many poisons, right? So we're stacking poisons, and that matters for the poison duration from the assassin. 5% increased poison duration for each poison you have inflicted recently, which means over the last 4 seconds. So we have a lot of increased poison duration from that as well. So we're converting Anomalous Detonate Dead, and I'll show it in a moment. I'll go into a map and show you how it works. And we are spamming the Desecrate and Detonate Dead, and that poisons everything. What else do we have here? I will have different amulet. I will have amulet. I will have like Owl's Uprising, I think is the amulet, for free malevolence. That will enable also the possibility of running discipline. That's why my ES is very low, and also we're not running high ES chest. because I wanted to test it, so I needed all the green sockets. But I'm crafting a chest, and I'll talk about crafting the gear for this build in a while, but I am going to be crafting a Val Regalia with like +2 base crit for attacks, and also like physical damage taken as chaos. That's basically like a pure physical mitigation, and a bunch of ES. So we'll be making a better chest for this, and basically most of the gear will be upgraded except for the Consuming Dark, as well as the helmet. The helmet is insane. So the helmet gives us chaos damage to spells, decent ES, power charge doesn't matter that much because we generate power charges very quickly, but I guess faster power charge generation, and then increased chance to poison per power charge, which is just a generic chance to poison, so that also helps our Cyclone. As soon as we have power charges, we get to have also extra chance to poison, and then most importantly, up to 20% increased damage with poison per power charge. And since we have 7 power charges right now, that gives us 140% increased damage with poison, which is crazy. And then also twice as quick spider webs. So this is giving us a lot of damage. I tried to POB this build. I POB'd it with a Hubris Circlet that had nearby enemies have -9 to Chaos Res, as well as a +1 power charge, and actually this helmet does better. So the dream would be to corrupt it to have +1 power charge on that, and that would be just insane. Then we have, of course, Venomous Weave just gives us the aspect of the spider, some attack speed, ailment and hit damage, and chaos damage, and the boots also gives us crazy recovery, right? So the boots are basically like the Watcher's Eye that gives you energy shield on hit, and increases the spider debuff. So that's what I'm wearing for now, but this is all just like makeshift gear I put together in order to be able to even test the build whether it works. So let's try to put in like a T12 so that you can see the build in action. Let's put some Nemesis monsters, okay, and I'll showcase the build and show you how it works. And we're running Plague Bearer as well, which we stack extremely quickly. So let's see, why is this thing so zoomed in? Map zoom, we want it zoomed out. Okay, so let's stack our power charges. Oh, I also have a Poison Sextant. So because of the Poison Sextant, we can move extremely quickly through this map. Poison Sextant, like, I'm not killing everything here when I'm moving this fast, but let's slow down a little bit and make sure we're killing everything. So, oh shit, that's the obelisk thing that kills you. Okay, let's go slightly slower. So as you can see, the damage, I guess I'm gonna be able to show the damage better on a boss because you can't see much because everything is just exploding. But the damage is definitely the thing that we're gonna have to work on for the single target, because it's okay, but I want to push it really high. I think you can push the damage of this build really high because of how quickly you can stack the poisons, and it's gonna just ramp insanely because you're going to be getting more and more duration as you have the poisons. And we're gonna have a lot of attack speed. I'm gonna also have 52% cooldown reduction on this build in order to okay, let's see, if we explode this guy, how much damage does he take? Let's explode some corpses on him, and let's see how much damage he takes. Is he gonna die? He died, okay. So for a while I didn't do any damage, and he took like most of his health from poison. So the poison is like most of the damage. The explosions kill things, but that means if something had like twice the health, I would be killing it as well, right? From the poisons. That's the power of poisons, that it does take a little bit time to take effect, but if you stack the poisons on something, then it's gonna just take so much damage over time. So one explosion here happened, I think, or not even. Did this guy got hit? Okay, this guy died. He got hit by one explosion and he died. It just took a while, right? So that's the thing. We also can have like poison deals damage faster, anointment. That's another thing that we can put, like dirty technique or something. So clear speed can be crazy with the poison sextants. Even without the poison sextants, the clear speed can be really good because it's like a cyclone build on an assassin, so the clear speed will be good. Clear speed will be good, and single target I think we can make really crazy with the amount of poisons that we'll be able to stack. We are running the Witchfire Brew for now, but there are other options for curses, but Witchfire Brew is really nice. Cinder Swallow and Coralito. Coralito is not needed, but we are critting all the time, which means we can take advantage of the Perfect Agony. This gives me also poison duration, right? The Coralito gives you also poison duration and crit strike chance, but we're gonna get to 100% crit strike chance, so that part of it will be useless. But the poison duration is really nice, and the Perfect Agony for free is really nice, unless we go for like this jewel socket. If we go for this jewel socket and these points, then maybe we also grab Perfect Agony and ditch the Coralito at some point if we don't need the poison duration. But let me talk about passive skill tree, because this is what's really interesting about this build as well, is how well it synergizes with certain cluster jewels. So you get this thing on a cluster jewel, the Hemorrhage. This gives you 18% dot multi for ailments from critical strikes, and we do critical strikes pretty much 100% of the time. So 18% dot multi for our poison and 40% crit chance. This is extremely good. This gives me dot multi as well. And then a Vile Reinvigoration gives me 24% increased damage over time, which is great. 6% increased maximum energy shield, which is great. And then on top of that, while mapping, we have 2% regen for each of them. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, that's 8% regen as well. So these are extremely good nodes. We have like the two, like one passive, you know, the two passive Vile Reinvigoration, the small ones, and then we got Vile Reinvigoration here, and this is exactly the same thing. These I picked up for like 5C. These are extremely cheap because nobody is playing like crit damage poison stuff. People are playing poison with BV and people are playing crit with custom crit, but nobody's playing both of those things at the same time. So there are some niche items that are extremely easy to get because of how cheap they are. So we're getting like poison damage, some ES, accuracy, ES, chaos damage, power charge, elusive, ES, crit, chaos damage, regen. Like it's all so jam-packed together and efficient. It's a really nice looking tree. We're playing CI, of course, so our reflected poisons don't do anything to us. Then we have the Undertaker, which actually works. When you are detonating dead, you're getting 30% increased damage, plus 2 corpses from your Desecrate, and then you're also getting 2% regen when you're consuming the corpse recently. So you have it even when you're doing like a Cyrus or something like that, because you keep consuming the corpses as you're critting. And then the corpses have 15% more maximum life. That also is boosting our damage. So many synergies. We go through here, through all the good ES. We get power charge, good ES, Zealots oath, so that we can regen as CI our ES. And that's pretty much it. I'm going to be getting some jewels. So here's the tricky part, right? The tricky part about this build is that I want to use specific rings, specific helmet, specific chest armor stuff I want to use, and I want to use specific necklace. So that means I cannot use Presence of Chayula. I also am going to be playing Assassin. So how do I deal with not getting stunned? And I did so much research for not getting stunned, and I think I'm gonna do like a separate video about it, about like how you can get a chance to not get stunned. But basically this is gonna be enchants on jewels, synthesize belt base, Elder and Shaper boots together, because I want like cooldown reduction and then also 35% chance to avoid getting stunned, and then either Warlord or Craft on the gloves, because on the chest it's a prefix, and this prefix slot I want to use on something else. I don't want to use it on stun avoidance. And helmet, I also can't craft on a helmet because this helmet is just an insane amount of damage. This is pretty much like best in slot maybe forever. So I'm gonna have to do some crazy shit to get the stun avoidance, and I think I'm gonna do a video about it, because I don't want to rely on a flask. I just want to have hard stun avoidance, 100% chance to avoid being stunned no matter what. The Pantheon, the problem with the Pantheon is that you do get stunned, but then you don't get stunned for the next 2 seconds, right? So like you get stunned and then for like half a second or maybe like 0.2 second you might get killed. So you cannot rely on that. And then there is another way of getting stun immunity, which is something like this, like 40% chance to avoid being stunned while channeling, and we are cycloning all the time. So that's another thing that you can consider. However, you are going to spend passive skill points or anoint points. There is another one somewhere here, like 30% chance to avoid being stunned while channeling. So if we like anoint this and then skill this one and then get maybe like what's it called, this flask, Cinder Solo Orn with like 50% chance to avoid being stunned during the flask effect, that would give me, you know, an option, but that's not reliable enough. I don't want to get like stop cycloning because I don't know, I ran out of mana or something and then get stunned and then get killed instantly after. So we're definitely going to go for like 100% chance to avoid being stunned and then 100% chance to avoid being frozen on the boots, so that the build is very, very comfy. It's probably gonna push a lot of damage. It's gonna have really good clear speed with the self-poison sextants, and I'm really excited to try to figure out this build. If you have any ideas of how we can make this build more powerful, feel free to post them in the comments below. I'm gonna be working on this build on my stream as well. You can check the link in the description below to see the link to my stream. You can follow that and follow my Twitter for all the notifications whenever I go live. Thank you for watching and see you next time.